Yeah,
There
I
we
went.
go. All right. I think we're all here. Just the four of us tonight. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the Tyranny of Dragons campaign on the Play Without Ego channel. So we'll jump in with a recap. What happened last week?
Nobody died.
So it's 10 years after the events that introduced the group of young friends to the Cult of the Dragon. And they returned to Hill's Edge to celebrate the anniversary of that experience. And as each of them arrived in town on the 30th of Tarsak, they visit family, friends, and catch up with people they know, and then meet up at the Stone Saddle Inn. They catch up with each other on recent events in their lives and agree to meet the next morning and head out to enjoy Greengrass, the celebration for the beginning of spring. Outside of Vale Gate, southeast of the city walls, the Greengrass Festival is a spectacle of vibrant colors and activity. And as the friends walk down the main lane of the festival, they see musicians, performers, walking vendors, rows of booths for the local temples and various city organizations. And when they say hello to Joy Maiden Cassie, spend a little time seeing what the other booths are about, such as the new to the city, or fairly new, Order of Angels, and the politically powerful Traders Council. Then they passed into the row of carnival games, and that they found highly overpriced, and mainly the wealthy and more adventurous youth of the city were playing. But a few of the games interested them enough to spend some coins on the chance to win tickets for a spin of the prize wheel. They played Guess the Feathers on the Peacock, Catch the Dragon by the Tail, Outstare the Cyclops. They conquered the rope ladder, and they participated in the gnome poetry and current pie eating contests. In the end, they had enough tickets for each of them to spin the prize wheel once, and they each won a minor magic item. Then they sat at one of the garden tents for dinner, but were interrupted by a scene of Jeffa and his gang of ruffians accosting a young couple. They intervened, and without a single blow, a single bit of violence, just some words and a little magic, scared Jeffa and the other bullies away. Then they sat back down and finished a plate of bread and cheese and a bottle of wine that had been sent to them by Shua-An. And at the bottom of the cheese was a small note that asked them to meet her behind the Kiss of the Lady, the shrine to Tamora, immediately after breakfast the next day. They talked and agreed they would do that, and then headed to their respective homes for the night. Other than Luna, who I believe was staying with Jinx, was it?
Yes.
Yes.
So the night passed uneventfully, and with the rising of the sun on the 1st of Mythal, the first day of spring, we once again find our friends gathered at the Stone Saddle for breakfast. And that's where we begin today. So, you all woke up this morning and make your way outside for the first day of spring in Hill's Edge. Like usually it's still extremely cold and nippy in the morning, but it is a little warmer than normal by good 15, 20 degrees. It's definitely more comfortable, a little more like the end of spring than the beginning. And it's overcast. And as you all find yourselves converging, meeting at the Stone Saddle Inn, a light mist begins to fall. Very light, just enough to make things a little wet, a little damp. And you go inside and you find your friend Spot sitting there at a table waiting for you. And the inn owner Um, mind blanking. Easy name. Help me out, guys.
Hagrid?
Hagrid, thank you. Hagrid is filling the table with various morning bits of like egg and ham and juice, some buttered breads, a little bit of fruit, and your breakfast is laid out for you.
I swoop in and take a handful of the bacon.
And it's very, very good. It's so. How do you like it? You like it? You like it a little chewy, juicy, or crunch, a little crunchy, or very crunchy?
A little on the crunchy side, and one of these days I plan to get up somewhere and get some whale bacon because I hear whale bacon's amazing.
Oh, yeah. So pretty far. You have to go pretty far north, Luskin and higher to really get the good whale bacon. Excellent. All right.
Oh, that stupid mist ruffled my shirt up and made my shirt all like, oh.
So, the out of character, just want to point out to everybody that there are now in general handouts, there is a DC5 cult knowledge that everyone should have access to, that gives basic information on the Cult of the Dragon and Samaster. That is kind of like, some of you may know more than this, but this is what you know, so that everybody knows in general. In addition, everyone should have some of the NPCs that are specific to their backstory, and or that everybody, the ones that you have met, such as Mojari, Shua'an, and Jeffa, that everybody knows, you should be able to see them in the general handouts. So some of you will have more specific ones to your backgrounds that will be in there. All right. Is there anything special anyone wants to do before going to the meeting with Shua'an?
Nope. Just clean up right up before we go. That's all I can say.
Okay. So
that goes for the little woodsy druid guy over here.
I'm doing good. I had some bacon.
I'm getting the feeling that Hagrid would have known to make a lot of bacon. So
you knew there's a whale of a tale about his bacon.
There are places in Hill's Edge where you can get whale bacon, but they're the more expensive places. But yes. All right. So you finish eating. Sounds like you help clean up the table for Hagrid. It's let's see. How is Hagrid doing today? Normal. So it's a normal morning at the inn. So it's there's a few of the regulars in there along with you, but it's not busy enough for Hagrid to have any special help there. So it's just him. So just Sarah would not be there helping out. You clean up and you head out, and it's still just lightly misting. Very faint. So After walking about a block, you can feel it on, like really feel it starting to accumulate into small droplets on your skin. But it is nice and comfortable in terms of temperature. There's quite a few people out and about, starting their day, especially merchant carts, beginning to head out of the various warehouses, to begin forming caravans to travel east, or most of them west, towards the major trade cities of the Sword Coast, and south. And you make your way across the city, over to the reaching gate, and to the Kiss of the Lady, the Shrine to Tamora. You get there. There's some people doing, a few people coming in and out of the shrine. And you walk around to the back. And in the back of the shrine is a small little courtyard. Just nice, well-kept garden and grassy area with some benches. And sitting on one of the benches, feeding a small number of birds, is Schwahan.
Acknowledge
jump.
her. And Jinx is going to jump.
I was gonna say I'm gonna jump over the back of the bench and then sit down next to her and go, "What's up?"
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. So it is so incredibly wonderful, I cannot tell you, to see the four of you together again. It's been a long time since I have seen you all in the city, all together. So, thank you for coming. I was hoping if you have time and you're not, if you don't have a busy schedule, if you might be willing to do a little job for me.
Nalamir says, "Of course. Why wouldn't we? You've already given us so much fun."
Excellent. So
I give you an odd look.
I just smile and nod.
she gestures for everyone to sit, and there's a couple of benches just kind of sitting, next to each other, kind of perpendicular in a corner of the little garden area. And she will sit on the outside and turn, and so she can face all of you as each of you sit on the bench, right. Two next to her, two on the bench across. So perhaps yesterday you noticed a booth for at the fair, for an organization called the Order of Angels. Did you see that?
Yes.
Not nod, yeah.
They're not really angels, are they?
Did you
I answer no, they're not.
Did you happen to have listened to them and about some of the things that they're doing in the city?
Not a heck of a lot.
Yeah, not really. So,
I mean, it sounds like they were spouting off some, lies anyway.
So, well, they're not actually lies to my knowledge. So the Order of Angels, they arrived in the city about 2 months ago. I believe at the booth you may have seen Mother Shazmi, the fairly young elf. She is in charge of the organization here in the city, it seems, and there's quite a few people working for them. So, and they have a good number of things that they're doing in order to help people and help the city. So they have a location where they are feeding the homeless. They have a small little school where they're educating the street urchins and any of the young people in the city who want to learn who wish to be educated and learn to read and write and learn various things, including mathematics and philosophy. They teach a lot of different things to a wide variety of ages.
Are they teaching or are they indoctrinating these kids?
From what I can tell and what I've heard, the School of Grammar, Literature, Philosophy, and Mathematics seems to be teaching exactly that, and just simply teaching the knowledge, and not actually working to adjust any of their of the students or any of the children that go there in the way in like how to think of certain things or to think against certain types of beliefs. They seem to be doing exactly what they say they are.
Who pays for it all?
And the food distribution is actually just distributing food freely. They also,
when I was a kid.
It's very helpful. They're also providing minor healing services, similar to what the Temple of Lyra does, but there are a few of the priests that will heal a certain number of people each day for absolutely for free. Mother Shazmi herself actually does the majority of the healing. They also provide therapy and emotional support. So anybody who is having a rough time, feeling depressed or doesn't know what to do about having trouble with relationships, or they can go and speak to, and I believe is Brother Brock. And actually, I saw Brother Brock at the fair yesterday, at the carnival as well. He will help people, and I've talked to a few people, or my friends of mine have talked to a few people that he has helped, and it all, again, seems to be exactly the type of things you would expect from those services.
How are they funding all this?
Excellent question. And I have asked myself personally, I've had a couple of conversations with Mother Shazmi, and they are privately funded. There is a donor who has reached out, and this is the first of supposedly many different cities where this organization is setting up to do this kind of thing. But they will not say who it is. They say that the main stipulation for the money is that the person, whoever it is, wants to remain anonymous. That they want to help people, but anonymously.
That seems really fishy.
And that's all I know about their funding.
So what's the job regarding then? It sounds like they're doing a good job as far as you know.
They are. And the other two things that they're doing is they happen to be cleaning up parts of the city. So there's some people who go around and help clean up old dirty areas of like the warehouses and the streets. And they also are repairing dilapidated buildings that they are, they're still working on them. Some of the work was postponed until the weather got a little better, but now it's going forward, and they say that they want to turn those buildings into cheap housing for people who maybe right now can only afford the hostels or can't afford quite anything at all, but to help people to be able to afford an actual like apartment or place to stay.
So what they're looking for is more taxpayers.
They could definitely help with that. Yes. So again, it all sounds wonderful. It all sounds incredibly helpful. And it's not that I don't trust new people and people who want to help others. But no, I guess maybe it is that it's not that I don't trust, it's that I've lived and experienced enough of life to know that
You're looking for the hook.
yeah, this type of behavior, organizations like this, they've never existed in my lifetime. And I've lived much, much, much longer than any of you. In fact, I've been in this city alone for close to 100 years.
In the last 10 years, you look like you have aged a day.
Thank you, my dear. That is the nature of elven blood, as you know.
Alamir nods.
So there's something there that doesn't, I can't see it. I don't know what it is.
What you're saying is 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 in this case. It looks like it equals 3.
It just seems too good to be true.
Have you had any friends in any of the other towns they're setting up that you've talked to about?
They have not gotten to that point yet. So this is, I guess they want to, for what I'm told, they're spending at least 3 to 4 months setting things up and seeing how it goes and working out kinks. They want to actually see how the cheap housing options actually work out for people. And then they will, I guess they have other cities kind of picked out where they want to set up. But this is the only one.
So we're the test bed. So what brought them to our city first over other cities? Is there anything special about our city?
I asked them that, and they said that this city has a robust a robust lifestyle. There is a variety, there's diversity, there is a lot here in one place, and it's not an easy life. And that is true. Hill's Edge is not an easy place to live for many people. And it has a lot to offer. There's a lot of opportunity and a lot of danger. And for much of the populace, I mean, we do have a large population of homeless. and including urchins, young people, and lots of there's a good amount of violence. There is a need here, as there's a need in many cities, but again, their logic makes sense. I can't find fault in their logic. So, but I would like to, but I am known. Some of my friends are known. I'm thinking, especially since some of you, in particular, Luna, Alamir, and even you, Jinx, have not been around very much over the past couple months. So they shouldn't know you, and you are new. And she looks at Spot. You, Spot, have been around, even though they may not know you. I have another task that I would like you to help with, if you would please, that are specific to some of your special talents. And Spot nods and says, "Of course." And so she turns back to the rest of you, and she says, "Do you think you could check out these 3 public areas of theirs and just see what you think? See what you can find out. Maybe talk to some of the people that they have been helping, and maybe even try to check out some of the other sites in the city where they're trying to do that aren't as public, such as where they're cleaning or where they're repairing dilapidated buildings. But just see what you think, see what you can find out. And if you find out everything that I've just said, and you don't, and there's nothing untoward or going on, if this is really who they are, that's fantastic. I hope that's true."
I do have a question of curiosity. Since they're healers like some of the druids, have you talked to some of the druids out at the druid circle to see if they have been working with me for different herbs and stuff?
I have not. Actually, to my knowledge, they're not actually using herbs. They're using spells. It's all
Okay,
purely magical healing that they're offering.
interesting.
Although I say that, but for something really minor, there are some situations where I know that they've used some healing packs, some of the standard
Oh, that's
packs
stinky
that you
stuff
can
that comes out
buy
of
from
that.
vendors in the city. What's that?
I said you mean that stinky Slav stuff that they wipe on you that just makes you feel better but stinks.
Yeah. Yeah, some of it can be stinky, yes.
Hey, quit talking about my good salve.
So she will she points to the or will tell you where you can find some of the okay get back here. Da, 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 da. Oh. Da, 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 da. Okay. Where did my map go? Sorry, one sec. Lost my map. Is it here? No.
Maybe next time we beat Joff up bad enough, he needs to go get healing. and then follow him.
I don't think violence was the answer in that
There
particular
we go.
instance.
Got it. I got to remember that I have a sub folder specifically for the city. Okay. So she says, so here, so the primary community services building, which is where they offer healing and counseling, and where I believe the property management is handled, is over by 23 and back way. So just on this edge of here, let's do this. Oops. Oh, did someone draw that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Sorry.
right clicked. I'm like, okay, there's a circle. Okay, that's where we are.
I was going. I was gonna actually put a circle. So
Okay.
that's fine. So about right there. So that's their main headquarters. Their food distribution is very close by, over here. And then the School of Grammar, Literature, Philosophy, and Mathematics is towards the center of the city, right across the street from the old sharp sword, the Temple for Tempus. So those are the three places that she knows of.
Well, I mean, I bet you if we go there, there might be other places, but right there, I mean, if you look, we just go to the closest one. Why would we walk all the way across town for the other one?
So I know you're all very, very careful, but I'll say it anyway. Please be careful. If there is something going on, the three of you asking a lot of questions could put targets on your back.
We'll just close the door, lock it with them in a room with a dragon.
I glance back and see the temple that we're in. I'm like, but milady, fortune favors the bold.
It does indeed. Yes, it does. So, then if you do you have any other questions?
I'll be careful.
All right. Spot, if you will come with me, we'll talk about your other mission. And she and Spot begin to walk away to the north.
I just say happy hunting, Spot.
And he nods and waves. See you guys later. Back at the inn.
Now if we see you first.
He's like, that won't happen. Why do you think my name is Spot?
We spot you in a crowd every time.
All right. What would you guys like to do first?
Go to the closest one.
So the closest one would be the headquarters.
And what time is it?
So it is actually, you guys are actually up here by
Yeah,
number
we're up
7.
here. So it's up here.
Yep. So it's this one right there. No. Gotta remember. Okay. So yes. So down right here. So you walk down. Are you just walking openly, or are you looking to sneak and spy?
Well, again, this one right here was the food one. This was the art one, right?
Correct.
Headquarters.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
since we're going
Head-
here, I mean,
Yep.
we could be pretty open about walking, I would think, don't you think? Oh, when we leave this area, since we were talking to her and everything else, we might want to sneak and kind of work our way through one of these aisleways or whatever down to one of the alleyways. And then once we kind of get free and do a couple turns, then we can walk freely.
So are you very specifically, are you looking to like come down to here to this spot and then come down to this corner? So you'll be in a street, but you'll be close where like when you come to that corner, you'll be able to look around the corner and see what's going on.
I look at my compadres and I'm like, yeah, sounds good to me. It's been
All
a
right.
long time to walk the wall line.
All right. Or you could walk the wall line and go down. Okay. So you get down to the corner, and you look around the corner and you can see, you see the building. So there's a warehouse, warehouses next to each other, and about the fourth warehouse in on that street. It is a small 2-story building, and it looks like it's been converted from a warehouse into offices. And there is a little outside on the stoop. There's like stairs. There's like 3 small stairs, very wide, going up to double doors, and the double doors are wide open. And out on the stoop, sitting in a chair, ministering to this very young man, is Mother Shazmi. And you've seen.
What type of ministering is she doing?
She's an elf. That's how you need to know.
Like, come to the light?
So,
with her raven dark hair.
So, yeah. So that's Mother Shazmi. So Mother Shazmi, she, as you saw, remember seeing her the day before. So she definitely seems very young. She is an elf. She has a scar above her left eyebrow that's partially hidden by her hair. She seems to comb her hair specifically to hide the scar. And she is smiling and tenderly holding this guy's arm and wrist, and you see this white glow, a magical glow, wrap itself around his arm, and he gasps, and then she lets go, and he pulls back, and he's like, "Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much." And she nods, and he begins walking away south down the alley, or down the street. And then she's sitting there, and there's nobody else around right now. And so she kind of settles back in the chair, and she begins just kind of almost nervously fidgeting with one of the clasps on her kind of a vest-like thing that she's wearing.
Oh, it appears she still has the same fidgeting manner she used to have when I was a kid. Didn't she fidget back when we met her, like that one time?
You never met her.
Oh, thought
Nope.
we did.
No, you never met this person. This is brand new.
Does the clasp have any symbols or anything like that we might recognize?
So, are you? So, first thing, are you standing at the corner watching, or are you walking down and by? And how are you doing this?
I say we just do a walk by.
Sounds good.
Total, just innocuous walk by. We're walking down the
Nonchalant,
street.
looking at everybody.
We're walking here. Exactly.
Very good. There's a lot of people walking. So, yep, you go walking by. So,
And while we're doing it, do an intent look at the clasp. See if it has any.
yep. So, go ahead and everyone make a perception check. So,
Alamir's looking the other way.
He looked the wrong clasp.
Mm-hmm.
no, Elamir was looking just fine, but he was really was looking, couldn't quite get a good view. He was walking on the outside of the group, and Luna and Jinx were like kind of in the way, their arms swinging. He was like looking around, and by the time he got a good view on her, he was kind of looking back over his shoulder, and the angle was wrong.
He couldn't see a thing.
Luna and Jinkin, you both, the class seems decorative. It is not a specific symbol. That it doesn't have any particular meaning that you can tell.
It's not religious by any means.
Not religious by any means. You notice that she her nervous. This is not that she's necessarily nervous, but she definitely is fidgeting, very fidgety. She doesn't, she's looking at various people, smiling at anyone who is walking by who is on her side of the street. She looks back into the building through the double doors a couple of times, and seems to just be sitting there quietly waiting to help people or for somebody. And seems,
For the
so
go ahead.
Jinkin and Luna, both of you also make a insight check, please. Or actually, I could just use your passive insights, which I have right here. So Luna, some people just fidget, and she looks like somebody who definitely just fidgets. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's nervous, but you also notice that separate from the fidgeting, she does also appear to be uncomfortable in some way, trying hard not to show it.
Did she pose this last time we saw her at the fair the day before?
No, not that you remember. But you really weren't paying that close attention to her either, trying to discern such things.
When we get on past Louise earshot, I asked everybody else what they're going to do, if they have any other plans.
Jinkin, you're also looking around, not just at her, but with the wide open doors, you try to peer into the shadows, into the building beyond. And you notice before, like just as you're, about to fully walk past. She's not paying you guys any attention, so you take a full look in that direction, and you see Brother Brock, the same person you also saw yesterday, and that you've now been told by Shua Ann provides counseling services, steps into the hallway through a door with his arm around this very young, probably teenage human female, who is, her
Knew he
eyes
was
are
a creep.
wet. I'm sorry?
Said I knew he was a creep.
and just seems to be calmly talking and comforting her, and she's nodding her head, and then you walk by.
Are they heading toward the doorway, or do they go into another room? I mean,
They were in the hallway when you walked out beyond line of sight.
Yeah. So like halfway through the walk, when we're walking on the street, I would turn around as we were talking, and I would walk backwards, and I would talk to my two compadres, looking beyond to see if she's walking out the doorway at least, and if she was going to leave the doorway, maybe we'd change direction or whatever. But I'm doing a whole, where you're trying to talk, but I'm walking backwards just to make it look like we're still part of this conversation. But I'm trying to really, using my hands, motioning, and all that stuff.
Okay, very good. So Mother Shazmi still isn't paying any attention to you guys. So you do that. What's that?
I was just telling the guys, if you guys want to go inside, we can just get inside. I mean, we don't need keys.
I can distract Mother Shazmi while you get inside if you like. I'll talk to her about healing type things.
I mean, as long as we're within 30 feet of the place I need to be and I can see it, I can get in there.
So as you walk back, Brother Brock is kind of grabbing the young lady's hand in both of his, clutching them and talking to her, and then she nods her head, and he lets her hand go, and she turns in and begins walking out.
Maybe we should go talk to her. As she walks out, do you know what direction she heads, north or south?
So I assume you continue to walk by, so you're walking south by the building?
Yeah, we're walking south. So does she head north or south?
Very good question. So she walks north.
North?
Yes.
Does anybody in the group know her?
Nope.
No.
But we know she came out of the building. So I talk like very jubilantly. I'm like, oh no, we're supposed to go that way, and I point north. And I take the guys and I grab them, by their arms or whatever. I'm like, no, we're supposed to go that way, and lead them on like a young adult just trying to go to the right place. It's a big town, all that wonderful stuff.
I told you check the address before we left the inn.
Yeah, but the numbers go the wrong direction here.
Now you notice that. Man, can't take you anywhere, can we?
They're numbered in a druidic fashion, which means it's every other number is backwards.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You haven't learned how to read that well yet. We'll have to tutor you later on that.
Except the tutoring.
So you turn around, begin following her, and she is heading just straight north, and then we'll turn a little left up the street. So here we can. Yep. So
we may not all want to approach her at once for a couple reasons. One-on-one, she might be a lot more receptive than a whole gang. And the other thing is, if only one of us approach her, then we've only, in case she's part of a group or something, we've only identified one of us, not the whole group of us.
Okay. So you're slowly catching up to her.
Do the amount of people on the streets stay the same all the time?
It fluctuates. Like you probably at any given time on any block in the city, at least this is one of the medium streets. See, this street that you're on right here is primarily a walking street. Carts can go on it, but only like one cart at a time. You can't have two carts. It really easily get by each other. Carts usually stick to the larger streets and only go down one of these if they're going very short distance to a specific, like a warehouse. So you don't see any carts right now, and you just see people walking. Every block, you probably have 3 to 4 people walking up and down, going somewhere.
Does she show any interest as to looking around at her surroundings?
No, she seems pretty self-absorbed. Really hardly noticing any, looking at any of the people around her or the things. She just is just walking to a destination, it seems like.
Is she cute?
Is she cute?
It's
Roll 2d10. 2d10
Okay.
on that. So cute is in the eye of the beholder. As far as you're concerned, she's just average.
There you go, Chinkin. Be perfect for you. Go try to make a small conversation with her. Or should we send Alamir?
So what's the plan? You're slow. She's not walking very quickly. You're catching up to her easily.
I say we see where she's going because the destination might be helpful for us.
I could see that too. Does she look like she's looking down though when she's walking? She's like just kind of walking where she's not really paying attention to her destination, or she kind of have some? Does she seem to like have like forward looking at least?
She does a lot of looking down, but looking forward as well. She definitely is aware of where she's walking and making obvious decisions to take a specific path.
And so she's missing the potholes. She knows the path. She's missing stuff that's on the street. She's not really doesn't have to look at the doors.
Yeah.
She's directed.
And she takes a right turn, heads up the large thoroughfare. There are quite a few this time of day. There are quite a few wagons, merchant wagons that are heading to go out the gate, go out the reaching gate, because out there is on the other side of the buildings, houses and establishments right outside the gate. Is where the caravans form to head towards the inner sea.
Really want her to walk out, or should we stop her beforehand? I like your idea, but
I think we find out where she's going. If we get out there and we see the merchant caravans, will Alamir know what caravan goes where? If she gets that far.
If you know the people, I mean, if you recognize any of the merchants themselves, you probably would have an idea of where they're going.
Okay. I say we find out if that's where she's intensely going, because the red line stops right there. We haven't even gotten out there.
You continue to watch her, and she turns up one of the small public street, private. They're not private streets; they're public, but this street along here is primarily established private homes.
It's like a dead end cul-de-sac. You
No,
only go down if you live it.
no. People will use them. They might take shortcuts, but
Middle
most
class?
streets like this, usually the vast majority of people who walk up and down these smaller streets are those who live at within the block, their destination. Or it could be somebody could be walking up this street because they live up here. And this just happens to be one of the quickest ways to get there.
What area are we in? Are we in what these houses, these buildings? Is this middle class, working class?
It's a mixture of so it's not. Well, that's a good question. So this particular section right here is primarily middle class. There are some nicer places. So, for instance, the backside of the block behind the Scarlet Stag Tavern has a couple of nice homes. But this street, for the most part, is middle class. People who are well off by medieval standards, but
Right.
Who definitely work hard for a living.
Because I know right now we're a block and a half away from Mojari's residence.
Actually, if I remember correctly, he's what?
He was between the 5 and the 6. He was about. You said
that was his store.
His store. Sorry, his store.
Yes, that is correct. His store is there. His place of residence was, I believe, over here. It was somewhere around this block, over there. So you're still following to see where she goes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. She walks up here, takes a left turn, and on the right-hand side, she enters a house. It is a modest house, but a house nonetheless. So anyone who owns a house in the city makes a decent living, though they probably work pretty hard, like your parents do, Jinkin. And she unlocks the door with a key, and she steps inside. There's a small little. So this is a row of houses, kind of like brownstones, but with a little bit of like sidewalk and garden area next to it. So almost like if you had brownstones that also had the equivalent of like duplex yards on the sides. A little bit of space between.
Is she dressed like a primary resident or maybe one of the servants? Or can we tell?
She is not dressed like as a servant. You're pretty sure from what you saw, especially given your passive perception, you're pretty sure she lives there.
Isn't she a kid?
She's a teen, late teen. So she's probably around 16, 17.
Yeah.
Which could be, she could work, but it wouldn't be unusual for someone her age even to obviously to work full time or to even be married at that age. And fantasy worlds are kind of like medieval societies.
Millennials.
Married off when they're 12.
All right, so she went inside the house. What are you going to do now?
Oh,
This is your forte now. There, Jinxie.
I was gonna say my forte would have been to stop her back before she was went down this one alleyway. Now she's at her house. Why are we creeping on this girl's house? I mean, she's you know she's she's a kid. Not that we're much older. Well, me, not much older.
Yeah, not much at all. Possibly as little as a year.
Yeah, but she's a kid. Is there anybody else in the street? And just is it busy or not?
It's a good question. There is absolutely no one else. You do not see anyone on the street around you. So it is completely empty.
My thought is walk up near the house, and since these are kind of like the kind of homes you're talking about before, where I don't know why I'm picturing this, but I'm picturing like your full house kind of row houses where they're not it's and I walk up near it, and I just like stop where I need to rest, and I kind of lean up against a building or lean up against the side or whatever, the fence or whatever, and I'm just gonna listen and see if I can hear anything. Preferably not screaming or whatever, but if I hear that, well, yeah. And not that this matters to me, but I cast a spell on myself because it takes a whole minute to cast, and I kind of interlace the words as I'm sitting there muttering to myself.
What spell do you cast?
It's the last 8 hours.
Cool. Yep. And as you approach the front of the house, it stops misting. So it's still overcast, but comfortably, just cool, comfortably cool, not cold. And now there's no mist in the air.
I magically clean myself with precipitation, whatever. I clean myself off and just making sure I'm like not all moist.
Yep, you dry yourself. And
Yep.
You feel good. Yep. All right.
Are any of the windows open?
No. The windows are none of the windows are open right now.
Any of the local places, quote unquote, for sale? Do I see a Luna Realty sign up somewhere?
There is, in fact, a building for sale. You see just down middle of the next block on the left. So down here, there is a building for sale.
Does it appear any of your neighbors are home?
Not that you see. You don't. It like there's no sign of anyone anywhere. You are the only people on the block right now.
I go across the street and knock on the door.
Okay, you go across the street. You knock on the door. There is no answer.
I pretend like I get a little frustrated, like I was knocking doors before, and I go across the street and I go up to her place and I knock on her door.
Okay. Just a casual, normal knock.
Yep. Whatever.
He's a salesman.
You knock on the door, and there is a pause, and then
it's
what? One moment, I'll be right there.
Okay.
And then there's a you hear a little click, a lock, and and uh, and she's like, just like, but it's just one click of a lock, and then who is it? The door's not open, it's still closed.
It's Jinkin. I'm just are you there? Can't see you.
Roll me 2d10, please.
Roll 7.
I'm sorry, I don't know a Jinkin.
Well,
Are you looking for my mom and pa?
I mean, sure. I was just looking for somebody to tell you about this place. I see a place is for sale down there, and while I'm young, I'm you know, looking for a place to buy.
There's a pause, and then another lock clicks, and the door just opens like an inch. Just roll a general. Go ahead and roll a persuasion, performance, some type of charisma check.
Sure.
Okay. You see this large, a large brown eye looking out.
No.
So you see like soft, like hair kind of hanging down, almost like partly over the over her eye. Dishwater blonde hair. Same girl that you saw go in, and she's like, yeah, you're really young, and you're looking to buy a house already."
Well, yeah. Is your parents home?
No, but they don't, like, they're not into real estate. They don't own
I'm
the
not
home.
looking for. I'm not looking for somebody to sell me the place. I'm looking for somebody to tell me about the neighborhood. I don't want to fall into a place that's full of ruffians and all those folk that are going to just turn around and steal your stuff. Open the door a little bit. Let me. Can I?
And,
Can I
and,
take
and she
a?
was beginning to open the door, and
Yep.
you say, "Open the door a little bit," and she stops. She's like, "Well," and she pokes her head a little bit out, like kind of watching you, but also looking out in the street. And at this point, there is one person walking up the street from the south. They're actually just turned the corner and heading and walking up to the corner of the house that's for sale, looking like they're going to walk by it, but that's at the point they are. And
I
she
look
looks
back
down
at
and
them
she's like,
like
"Well, where is everyone? I guess it's not a busy time of day. I guess I could tell you about it. I've lived here all my life."
perfect.
And she
I mean,
and so she kind of
I'll be right
like
back.
opens the door a little more and kind of half steps out. But her right leg is still inside the door jamb, and she like is definitely watching, kind of to make sure that watching the person walk up the street. And she looks back at you and she goes, "Well, so what do you want to know?"
um,
And you can
I
tell that she has very recently been crying.
I stutter purposely, and then I'm like, um, I'm gonna really slaughter this and make this really bad, but I'm like, oh, I, I didn't summon an angel, but here you are. You are radiant. Trying to get her to smile.
Okay. You could tell she may not trust the situation in you, but she already has had a favorable um, like reaction to you. Go ahead and make another persuasion check. And she does. She's like, oh, she smiles bashfully, and she's like, "No, please, no. I'm. Thank you. That's very nice. But
I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I apologize to her, like I'm like, like, oh my god, I'm embarrassed.
yeah.
um, so are all these houses in this area the same kind of layout?
Uh, I mean, these right here are, but the other houses are all a little different. You can see they all have different fronts and yards, and they're all a little. I think they're different inside. I haven't been inside more than a couple of them.
You mentioned that she had like her hair covering part of her face or whatever. Does it look like she's trying to hide bruises?
Um, no, it doesn't. She, her skin or complexion is actually fairly clear, smooth. Um, she had gone inside and taken her jacket and scarf, and actually not wearing a scarf today because it's a little warmer. She had a very light jacket on, and she's taken it off, and so you can see her forearms, her neck, her face, and then you don't see anything. It doesn't look like she's trying to hide anything. That was just her hair, like she was bent over looking out the door, and her hair kind of hung down in front of her face.
Oh, so okay, so different layouts. That's good. Um, what does your parents do for a living?
Uh, I thought you wanted to know about the houses.
I do, but it gives me an idea of the kind of clientele, or well, for me, clientele, the kind of people who in the area that are, you know, living near.
Um,
Are they the kind of up that are up at, all wee hours of the night and making all the ruckus?
no, they go to bed very early, get up very early, and they work very hard. My mother's a seamstress, and my father works leather.
Oh, did your mom make your outfit?
Yes, she did.
It's very
Actually,
fine.
well, I and she goes, well, she made my jacket, um, and the top. I made my skirt. I've been learning to the trade, and sometimes I help her.
Well, I love the frill on the bottom of the skirt. It looks perfectly done. Well done.
Thank you. So what are you looking to do here?
I'm making friends with her, trying to get her confidence, so I can then turn around and go, is there anything that
So
basically I have a bigger set of skills?
you talk to her for a while,
Yep.
and she she continues to have a very positive reaction to you, and she gets more comfortable, and to the point where she like steps fully out onto the stoop, and kind of, and mostly closes the door behind her and is talking to you. And she will have asked you some questions about, like, who, if you've lived here, and who your, what your parents do and what you do, and how you, like, how you made money to be able to afford a house at your age, that kind of stuff.
And I wouldn't completely lie. I would tell my parents are tradesmen, just like her parents were. And so there's some similarities and everything else kind of going on there. And I would go through and explain how, while I found trades enjoyable, I was lucky enough to be able to seek other interests that I did not think would ever be available to me. Mainly um, Bardic, skills and all that wonderful stuff. And I actually bring out the loot I got back when I was a kid from,
Shuayan.
yeah, yep. I can't, as far as I can't say that. I want to pronounce it differently. And I show her the loot, and I hand it to her and let her, handle it after telling her basically how much it meant to me and everything else. And when I got it, and everything else, I hand it to her and, let her kind of like, just, touch the notes or whatever. And I was telling her, I start going to the, little things like about talking about the temple, sorry, the cult, the cult, sorry. The Church of the Angel, or okay. I purposely say it that way, or I purposely mispronounce it or misidentify it. Not a cult, of course, but I call it the Church of the Angel or whatever, and I talk about how I'm hoping that I can maybe help them out or something like that, because I hear they're doing such great things. Trying to see if she can actually forego any knowledge without slip up, because she doesn't really think of any better. If there's any knowledge she would know.
So while you're having this conversation, asking these questions, Alamar and Luna, what are you two doing?
Trying to be nondescript, out of not be noticeable. Maybe if there's some shops or something else, or sitting down, acting like we're doing our own thing.
Keeping a lookout, making sure nobody shows up to the house, and we go caw caw.
So trying to be, so like you were the only other two on the street for a while until this other person kind of showed up and started walking up the street. Were you like sitting down in front of like on the sidewalk, or
Sitting on the stoop?
If there's chairs or something, we're sitting like we're in deep conversation. This
so
way,
so these are only houses on the street.
Okay, so we're sitting on chairs. On the stairs.
Sitting on the stairs on one of the other houses.
Yep, on the stoop, and we're starting to do 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 do.
I need one of you to roll 2d10.
Go ahead.
Wants to do it?
Come on, Steve. You love to roll dice.
Nice.
There you go, 18.
Almost. That means he gets to roll again, right? Because the doubles explode.
Either so what dragon comes out.
Yeah. So she would have seen you, but that she has no relation to anyone who lives at that house. So like she didn't think anything of it. Very good. So yeah. So you two are just sitting there watching this fairly lengthy interaction between Jinx and this young lady.
We're thinking Jinx has him a new girlfriend.
That's right. He's getting married.
So, Jinx, when you mention the Order of Angels, I
mispronounced it. It's the Order of Angels. I thought it was a church.
No. But you mentioned the Church of Angels. She goes, the church. You mean the Order of Angels?
Yeah. And I would have been not. I'd be like, oh, yeah. Oh, always messing the names up.
They're such wonderful people. Brother Brock is such a nice young man. Have they helped you?
No, but I've been hearing in the taverns and in the places that they've been helping people, and I just figured it'd be a good opportunity for me to help in my free time. You can't work all the
Okay.
time.
Yeah, I don't know that they take any volunteers or anything, but the brothers and sisters and Mother Shazmi seem that they're very, very sweet, helpful people. They they've helped me, and I know some of my friends have been helped too.
Oh, what did you need help with?
Oh, I just, you know, the nothing really. Just
It's all right. You don't have
sometimes
you don't.
sometimes sometimes things make you sad, and I was a little sad, and they cheered me up.
Oh, that's so good. You've. I look around and I'm like, and you. There's not a lot of people your age around this area. I kind of look at like odd, like I'm like that is kind of odd, you know?
uh, Around here, well, not exactly my age. I have friends around the corner,
Oh,
there's the pastels um, down down the street here. They have a young son Wilhelm. I think he's 13 now. To he's we're 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 kind of friends. We talk.
Uh-oh. You have competition.
No. How many how many 16, 17-year-old girls do you know that would be interested in a 13-year-old boy?
Oh, I thought he was like 18.
No.
oh me?
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
you.
Lincoln does. So
Yeah.
she's talking about this other boy that lives down the street.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay. Honestly, she sounds like she's kind of lonely. She sounds like she's making up like I got friends. Yeah, yeah, I got friends.
I got friends. Yeah. I got them.
Well, when I was younger, I had a group of friends, and some of my friends were, lived on the street, and some of my friends like to hang out in the trees. Some like to sit in front of books. So yeah, I get that. They're not always around because they're off doing whatever. But you know, maybe um, I look at her again like maybe if I get that place, maybe we could be friends.
And
Again,
her
discussion.
eyes light up and she smiles and she goes, "That would be wonderful, wonderful." So, do you introduce yourself to her as Jinkin, Jinx? Like how do you? What name do
I
you use?
I use Jinkin. I
Jinkin.
use the full. Yep. I don't want her to think I'm a jinx.
Yeah. So no, Jinkin, that would be wonderful. Um, and she goes in, and you. I mean, I know I've seen some of the other, boys my age in this city who don't really um, have a home or family, but my mother doesn't, says they're bad influence, and I need to stay away from them.
Some can be. There are some rough individuals in the city, but there are some people who are able to overcome that. And if you can be part of them overcoming that, doesn't that really kind of make it worthwhile?
You mean like helping them?
Yeah. Like I have a friend of mine. and he grew up and lived out of one of the old warehouses for most of his life that I knew him. And I mean, now he's a pretty fine, upstanding individual.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. You must have been a really good friend.
Well, I kind of look at him as a older brother because he was like, I mean, so big and older than me.
So, all right.
Anyways,
So we're gonna kind of move this along.
please.
So what are you? Give me two things you're trying to get out of her.
Basically, what the church was doing for her, which apparently
Mhm.
was just helping. Already found out that out, and
Okay.
she knew the same names we already know. Oh, and if there's any other, I guess only other thing we didn't think about is if there's any other services or areas that they that I could go to talk to. Maybe they need help, and I could inquire at least. Besides those 3 points we have, if she would she know any other areas.
Okay. So she doesn't know of anything new that you haven't heard of. She knows about, and in fact, to be honest, you know about more. You've heard of more services from Shua An than this young lady whose name is or Riel. Riel only has heard of the school, the food distribution, and the education on top of the therapy and emotional support. She knows nothing about the like cleaning and repairing of the buildings. She was, well, I mean, I my friend Wilhelm tells me that the school he's been going to the school, and that they teach some very interesting topics there, including history and various and history, philosophy. He's learned some um, or he's trying to learn some maybe some more advanced math and be able to do more than just add and maybe do some and learn some ledger stuff that could help him be maybe become a scribe or do work for the merchant for the traders and merchants of the city. Like they teach all kinds of things, but primarily he says he loves the stories they tell. He was telling me a story that they were telling of, and it was of sounded like the stories that the that some of the minstrels sing at the at some of the outdoor concerts where the performances, um, grand stories of heroes and and gold and magic, dragons and gods. Yeah, he he really he goes just I guess um, it's a very very interesting um, variety and wide variety of things that they teach there.
Well, I mean, that's amazing and everything else. I'm sorry for taking up all your time, though. Um,
But it's a really lovely street, and it'd be great if you lived here. I hope you buy the place.
I flourish as I bow to her and everything else. And I take her hand and do that, the fake kiss. We don't really kiss, but you just take the hand like you're going to do it. And I go, till we meet again then. And
And
then
and she attempts. She wasn't really kind of prepared, but she pulls off a very appropriate curtsy that is obviously quite practiced. And she goes, "Well, thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure."
I take as I walk away, um, I did a half look back just to see if she was watching. She's one of those individuals that sits there and watches people leave all the time. And if it is, I walk past the two guys. I don't say a word, and I just turn down the nearest alleyway, and basically disappear out of sight. So I walk by the house, basically, whatever it is.
Okay.
So meet up.
All right.
Does she
Alamir,
mind?
Luna, Jinx comes walking back into the street.
We're just sitting there kind of watching her, see what she does. Is she watching him?
She did for a little bit, and then she went back into the house. But I'm pretty sure, yeah.
We're throwing dice and bones right now.
Luna, you do notice that you see a little movement in one of the windows, and the drapery kind of being pulled aside, and she's peeking out, watching Jinx walk away.
After I leave the house, once I get out of shot, I don't go back into shot. I don't, even if it's like these guys, I wave them and beckon them over, but I don't go back into shot. So to see me leave and then come back, kind of thing,
Right.
That's not. Yeah, I leave and we're headed toward the next thing. I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of a dead end, but maybe not.
I'm not sure about Alamir, but I'm gonna kind of wait until she's not looking out the window, no one notices, appropriate amount of time, and then, hey, shall we go?
Yeah.
And then maybe go a different way, come around the other side of the block to catch up.
Okay.
This way it doesn't look like we're all together.
And then when we meet up, I am going to cover back up with the idea of she doesn't really know anything about this town or about this group. They seem up in the up with the younger children.
I tell him she's kind of cute.
She's a little young.
I saw you kissing her hand, though. I just hope she watched that hand.
You didn't see me kiss anything because I did not kiss anything.
Shame on you, you heartbreaker.
You're a heartbreaker, dream maker, love taker, Cinderella.
No.
How's that one song go? You dirty dog.
No one's ever heard that but you.
I have no idea what he's talking about. So we should probably head down to the food place. We should probably act like we're hungry too.
I'm always hungry.
As we're closer to lunch at this time. It's been an hour and a half or so.
As we're walking, I use prestidigitation to kind of ruffle our clothing up and to dirty it up a little bit. Maybe give it a slight minor scent, just enough to make it look like we're not, that we may be more in need than this, people class enough.
Alamir, how do you feel about having your clothes dirtied?
He can do it himself if he wants. I know he knows how.
He doesn't really care that his clothes get dirty now. Growing up, he might have had a little tiff with it, but now he's like, whatever.
Okay. All right. So you head back down, heading down the street to to the food distribution place. I assume you're heading down the direction where that and past the house that was for sale. Not back the way you came.
Yeah, when we left, it was not back the way you came. It's always a forward direction.
Yep.
And then continuing on. And if I felt like oh no, right, it doesn't really matter at this point. I was gonna say if I would have known there was something that we were still going down that path, whatever, and I know somebody was still watching, I would walk up to doors and knock on our doors, like I was asking more questions,
So
But
as
doesn't matter.
you get down to, you pass the house that's for sale, and you look at the sign, and the place, the yard has seen better days. It's not being kept up too well, but it is still, you figure, I mean, it's the beginning of spring, so it's about the time when such work would start being done, maybe in later on to the mid to the end of this month. And coming around the corner from the south, rounding the corner in front of you, coming up and running up the street, and when he is this young boy with very blonde hair, kind of a little bit shaggy to just below his ears, and it's like the hair blowing in the wind. He's like huffing and puffing, sees you and veers to the left to pass on the basically the north side of the street, kind of away from you, and is just running hard, and gets and is running by and is about to run by you. Do you do anything?
Is he young? How young is he?
He's about 12, 13.
Oh, 13.
Yeah, slow him down.
Going,
Whoa, hold them horses. Yeah, pull them back there. Yeah, mule, yeah. What's Ross? What's the better chance to see there? I'm just the old man here.
And yeah, he kind of startled, you're yelling out at him, kind of startles him, and he looks over and he keeps running. He's running right by you. But it's still about like 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet away from you, because he veered away.
Do you need help?
No, sir. No, I'm going home. And he gets about 15 feet beyond you and veers into the house that's catty corner across from the one that's for sale.
Is he that 13-year-old?
Pretty sure.
Very possible.
Oh, what a skittish kid.
As he runs up to the front door, he's yelling out, "Mama, Mama!" And he's trying the door and then he fumbles out a key and he's looking around and he opens the door and he goes inside and he rushes inside and slams the door, and he's yelling out, "Mama, Mama!" and you hear him running into the house yelling.
Anything coming from the direction he ran from?
No. You see some people crossing along the main thoroughfare to the south, and they kind of, some of them were looked up and when they heard the screaming and saw him running, and they just kept walking.
No other commotion whatsoever, so nothing to identify that there's something else going on. I don't want to budge into somebody's house again.
You have a problem with that?
But you're so good at it.
I didn't go to anybody's house. I actually didn't end up in anybody's house.
Alamir, it's your turn. Roll 2d10, please.
Oh crap! Can I choose to abstain?
You could. You always have the option.
Right in the middle. Right, nothing's happening. Right.
Yep. Right in the middle. Okay. So you're continuing to walk. Did you stop, or are you stopped, or are you
Well,
continuing to walk? All of
well,
you.
we stopped to try and get the cow, but if he's just right on by, then whatever.
So you continue walking, and you reach the end of the block to the main thoroughfare. Yep. So what are you? Are you pausing there? Are you continuing on south?
Yep, that's where we're going.
Okay. You continue on back down.
Here and here and
Yep.
here.
All the way back down. So when you get down to there's lots of traffic. Once you hit these main thoroughfares, there's tons of traffic. People making deliveries, packing and unpacking carts. So you within the city, a lot of the warehouse delivery system is an ox cart. Ox carts work really well. If it's really heavy, right, a two ox cart, one ox cart for lighter or for slightly smaller carts can carry at a relatively slow pace, but reliably. You can carry a lot of goods. And so you pass a lot of carts. There's a lot of carts going up and down, passing each other. There's plenty of room for people to walk or ride horses, and ox carts to pass each other, even the largest carts and carriages to pass each other on these large streets. If I remember right, these largest streets are, it's either 80 or something like, I think they're around 80 feet wide. Maybe it was 60. I can't, somewhere I have the specifics, but yeah, they're pretty big. 60 sounds about right. That would allow what I just said to happen. So up ahead, you see the sign written in common, and it says food house. You see, it actually is Order of Angels food distribution. And there are some benches and chairs, tables and benches, and extra chairs in the little courtyard to the left of the main door. And you see there's two two older men sitting at kind of across from each other at one of the tables. Nobody else out there. The front doors to the distribution center are closed.
Did we see any carts stop deliver for here?
Nope, none of the carts have delivered here. Although deliveries would most likely be down one of the alleys and in the back.
Right.
It probably wouldn't deliver through the front.
Yes, Jinx.
I was just thinking.
Why do I keep rolling 2d20? There we go.
There's no food. You know, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna eat?
Right. It also isn't. You're also probably about right in the middle between breakfast and lunch at this point. So it's not quite time for for it's not quite mealtime. As you watch, you do see a large 2-ox cart laden just piles of barrels and crates pull down the alley to the right of the building and head to the back. There's the driver. There's 2 men in the bench seat. One of them holding the reins and driving, and he's a middle-aged, very well-weathered skin, a little darker complexion, black hair, straight cut, with a bit of a mustache, and his companion is a pale green-skinned half-orc that actually looks pretty young, like younger, definitely younger than Spot.
I push Luna up forward, and I'm like, "Go get us some food."
I do look like a druid, so I could mask in that way with how I dress, I guess.
You're gonna turn into a deer, and it can.
I turn into a spider when you're asleep and crawl on your nose. And not a small spider, one of those big camel spiders. I go up to the door and I knock.
Okay. There's you knock, and almost immediately one of the old guys, so he's probably late 40s, pretty old gentleman for this world, and he's very, very thin, scrawny, scraggly beard. That's probably about 6 inches long, lots of gray, more than just peppered gray in his hair, and his beard is almost completely gray with just a couple of patches of really dark brown that hasn't quite changed. And he immediately follows up the knock with, "It's not time. You've got to wait. Got to wait till lunch."
I'm new here. What time's lunch?
Be
I'm a weary
around
traveler.
noon, around the high sun eating time.
Ah. Do y'all offer other things besides food?
It's not mine. I'm here to eat too. You gotta get a good spot. Come early. That's why I'm here.
How do I get a good spot?
And he just like points to all the other empty spots at the benches and chairs around the tables. Just take one.
So I look at my back at my comrades to see if they want to come in with me.
Sure.
And to clarify, remember these are outside in a little like next to the street to the left of the main doors. So this is outside seating.
I just hope the girl doesn't walk by after you telling her you want to buy a house.
Yeah, I pull a hood over and just not used to the temperatures out here. Even though it's nice out and everything else, it still feels a little cold.
So where do you sit in relation to these two guys?
Right next to him.
Across from each other at the end of a table.
Right next to him, like there's no room on any other table.
Same table, so Luna can continue the conversation with them to try to get more information from them.
That's right.
You find out that their names are Gores and Ralam.
This is payback.
And Gores is the one who has been talking to you, and his friend Rollin is younger, probably in his late 30s. Looks though like pockmarked face, chapped, cracked lips, uh, and very dirty, like he's been sleeping in the gutters. Smells pretty bad.
Oh man.
Not that Gore's necessarily smells much better. So you made a smart choice. This is where the pretty one comes and delivers the food.
Pretty one.
She
Who's
handles
that?
this side over here.
I make sure I sit at least a person or two away from these, from them, so they're separating between Luna and Alamir. They're actually separating the difference between me and them to try to keep away from their smell because it's a little too much for me.
You could use prestidigitation on them.
No,
Change the
I'm not doing
smell.
that. That's not the purpose here.
I asked him, yeah, so tell me about the pretty one now.
So,
Is she? Wait. You say pretty? I kind of cut in. It's like, is that? And I look at him. I look at the green one, and I'm thinking, she's not. And I look at him and like trying not to offend him. She's not orc, is she?
oh, no, Sister Rena. She's human. Yeah, she's the one in charge of the feeding of the food. She's the main person distributing, and there be a couple others who help out. Actually, Brother Sunar comes and helps her, and he handles the other half. That's why we sit over here. Don't worry, you'll see. But don't be taking any of my attention away, or my attention away, because that wouldn't be nice of you.
Oh, I'm a girl. I would never do that. Now, Jenkins, you gotta watch out for him. He's a lady killer, lady lover.
I have never killed anybody.
Miss speaking, yeah, lady lover. It's okay.
So,
what do they normally have for food here? Is it good?
So it's a variety. It depends on the meal. So they give you so you sit there and you talk to these guys for a while, and it's obvious they're regulars and they have nothing else to do. And this is and you get a little bit of history and learn that they're used to starving, and in the last 2 months, it took a while before they believed that the food wasn't going to be poisoned or that they weren't going to be abducted for coming to eat here. But after a few weeks, and more of their friends, a few of their friends started coming and getting free meals. They finally tried it out and been coming every single day. They basically hang out here all day long to get their three meals, and a lot of the other their friends come too. And it's the first time in a long time that they've eaten regularly and eaten good food. And they're starting even to fill out a little bit. They're getting healthier. Though they don't look very healthy to you.
Do you know if they hook us? Did they offer any jobs for people? I mean, to help them out.
They never ask for help. And what do you need jobs for if you're getting free food?
Well, What if they're never around again? What if they leave?
What? No. What do you mean? What if they leave? It's
Hey, sweet
no.
butter.
They say they're here to stay. They're setting up shop and home. They're going to take care of the city.
And they want nothing in return?
They don't ask for anything.
Interesting.
But if you want to help them, just ask. Like, just make sure you're asking Brother Sunar. I'll be busy talking to Sister Rena.
I hear Alamir's good at helping.
I hear he is really good at cleaning tables.
Dishes and spoons and forks and pans.
And ducks and geese and chicks better, Sari. But
So,
what Alamir does do, just for the heck of it, just because it's funny, he is going to get up. He's going to get up. He's going to walk. It's going to walk in and see if he's going to volunteer to help. But as he walks away, he's going to create a minor illusion of a spider coming up and under the table and up onto the table and going back over the right next to these two gentlemen.
How big of a spider are we talking?
It's a minor illusion, so it's no bigger than a 5-foot cube. That's just a really small spider, you know. No,
so you can make the spider any size you want, and the 5-foot cube is just where
Yes,
it's
so yeah, it's going to come up under the table, go up onto the table, across the table, and then back under, moving pretty quickly, just because he wants to see their reaction.
They you see the spider comes up, and they're like,
You
like
those 220s, don't you?
Well, these were
That's a
wisdom
hell of a
saving
20s.
throws.
Oh, okay.
And you hear Roland, who's been quiet this whole time. He goes, look at that! That thing's huge. My goodness! If we weren't gonna get a good meal, I'd say that could normally that would have been like half a lunch. And they both laugh, and they're just like, and they just watch it go across.
And I knock on the door, and I ask who answers the door.
No one answers the door.
Elamir's going to go around back then and knock on the side door or whatever is necessary.
Okay. So Alamir is walking around back. Jinx and Luna, you see him heading that way. What do you do?
Unless Luna says anything, I would just go back and mention those guys. I'm like, oh yes, the whole spider thing. I'd be like, yeah, I've had grubs in my life, having to forage and pull up branches and tree stubs to eat. I don't know if a spider I could do, but yeah, I get that. And I watch him and Alamar go to the back.
All right.
And I'll count. I'll give him 5 minutes.
You remember that one time I made you that Hot Pocket when you was really hungry?
What's a Hot Pocket? Is that like is that one like those meat?
When it had meat and it was
meat pie.
Meat pie, thank you.
Luna probably brought back meat pies from Chol.
Yeah.
Didn't the barber make those meat pies?
Oh, no. I actually made some of them, and I filled them in with crickets and spiders and other proteins. You found it very tasty.
Luna, do you're just watching Alamir go back too?
Yep, I'm just sitting there watching them.
Cool. All right, Alamir, you're just walking to the back to see
I'm going around back and seeing if there's a door back there,
So you go round to the right into the alley where you saw the cart head down, and at the corner of the back of the building, you see to the left the cart at a loading dock, and the two guys are unloading everything in the cart onto the loading dock. And there's a
Would I know what
actually,
everything is?
it's drink and food.
Okay,
Is
barrels of water of liquid and crates of food. Got it. Okay, nothing out
Yep,
of the ordinary.
exactly. Um, you let's see. You see this person. Um, you see this young half elf helping, like directing the distribution of the crates and the barrels, um, and holding some kind of ledger and taking notes, and seems to be marking stuff off with every crate and uh, barrel that's loaded and placed into the loading area.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up small talk, specifically, that I met the Church of Angels, whatever the City of Angels,
Order of
at
Angels.
Order of Angels at the festival, and I
Uh-huh.
was listening to their what they're doing for the city, and as a as a patron and as a citizen of the city, I thought it was a very, very noble um, idea, and basically want to know. I will then also say, but I've traveled far and wide, and I'm just wondering how, how is such wonderful food and such wonderful, nutritious drinks being, where are you getting them from? I'm trying to, is it local? Are you getting it from Farm Fresh? Are you getting it, is it all organic? Um, have you guys thought about the gluten problem? All of the above.
He kind of he looks over at you and then back down as he waves the two guys unloading, and keep keep it coming. So thank you, sir, um, for your kind words. Yes, and we buy local. We want to help the economy, of course, and it is all um, from some of the local farms and just local distributors. The foodstuffs that's brought in to feed various people in the city from the merchants that deal in such wares.
How do I how do I volunteer? How do I help? How can I and like Jinx said, I can wash dishes, I can serve food. Giving one's time is the best thing you can give in a situation like this.
So so
Is there
my
someone I should talk to?
my question is to you as a player, are
Uh-huh.
you seriously looking to do volunteer work, or are you just looking for information?
I'm looking to do it subterfuged so I could insert myself to gain information.
So you are looking, right? I understand that, but you are really then looking to get in and actually help.
Yes,
Then
and while
I'll
there,
then you
yes.
can choose. You could roll either deception or persuasion.
Well, since they both suck, um, so I have a third option. It
No, I'm
doesn't
afraid
matter.
not.
All right. Well, let's just see how poorly this can go. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
Hmm,
There you go.
not bad.
That's better. That's better than a kick in the shins.
Better average.
That's true.
Well, I appreciate the offer. That is very generous of you. But we already employ everyone that is necessary for the work that we do. If you wish to see if there's additional positions open, you should go to the main offices and speak to Mother Shazmi.
Which is who we saw earlier doing the cufflink thing. And that was
Yes.
over here up at this place.
Yep.
He says, "Yeah, I understand completely. You know, there is an order to this, to the whole business and the whole aspect of communication. So, and I will go visit her. And where exactly can I find her? I'm not going to say I know where I've seen her before, but
And he'll give the address to the
Elm Street,
to
123
the
Elm
main
Street.
main.
Okay. And while I'm back there, can I get a good glimpse of anything inside? Whether it's just the storerooms. I don't know if they're going into a back warehouse storeroom or if they're going straight into the kitchen or what.
So what this is there are there's like double barn doors that kind of open up onto the platform,
Mhm.
and at the back of this kind of storage area, there are a couple of doors, and one of them is open, and every once in a while, Brother Sunar will direct one of the crates or barrels to go directly through that door into what is obviously a kitchen.
Okay. And those.
And you do hear noise, like noise of cooking and preparation coming from the kitchen.
Gotcha. So, in all things aside, it looks like a working food kitchen,
Soup kitchen.
soup kitchen. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. Alamir will return to the front and let these two know that he has to go have a meeting with Mother Shasmi with a whole lot of M's in her last name. Mamamuni.
Would you like us?
Mamamuni.
Would you like us to come with you?
I don't know. We saw Cufflink Lady earlier.
Oh, okay.
So we're either here to eat or we don't bother. That's what we're getting out of here right now.
If we have to go, I'm completely open to going, by the way. But if we have to go, I was really kind of curious to see who this. I look at the half of the orc or whatever, going, "Oh, he didn't get mad at me." I was really curious to see this radiant lady that he keeps talking about. But and I'm hungry, but we have to go. Hopefully, we can get back and get some food, though.
You're just like a sailor. A girl in every city on every block.
Well, it's better than a squirrel behind every tree.
Hey, they got my nuts.
Three of you make perception checks.
Perception. 15. Look at that. There's a perception.
Luna.
Yeah, 15.
So, yep. So you're all paying kind of close attention around you, what's going on. Gores and Raloon seem to be kind of having an old argument with each other about some kind of altercation that happened as to like who has ownership over the most comfortable sleeping spot in one of the parks. And people are passing by, and some people looking over, and one other person, a very one of the street urchin, probably about 11 years old, very timidly, kind of furtively looking around, like long, scraggy, black hair, human,
He
very
doesn't have
dirty.
he doesn't have any symbols on him like he's part of Jeffa's gang, is he?
Jeffa didn't actually have any symbols on them, but like, are there gang symbols? A good question. So let's see.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know Spot didn't believe in him, so he didn't seem to wear him at all.
You see a single kind of tattoo, or a piece of it, on his left arm, but isn't anything that you recognize. Doesn't look like it's associated to Jeffa or to the current incarnation of Spot's old gang.
Or the Dragon Cult?
Or yes, or the Cult of the Dragon.
Okay, because we recognize that probably.
So, but while you all see all of this stuff going on, Luna, you catch some additional motion out of the corner of your eye. Just on the other side, the building that you passed to the north of this, that you passed to get here, that is on the other side of the alley that goes to the back that Alamir just came from. You catch this motion and you glance over and see a man, a cloaked figure, who looks over very quickly at the front and back into the street to see if anyone's watching, and ducks into the alley. This is what the man looks like.
Not suspicious anyway.
So that's what you see. He's out of sight very quickly as he heads down the alley out of sight. You're muted, sir.
I quickly asked if my two friends noticed that, which I already know they're probably going to say no. And then I quietly describe him and ask Jenkins if he knows any of the rogues like that in the area. I explained where he went and everything.
I mean, this town is full of people, and usually if they have their hood up, it usually means they're trying to download and steal music. Sorry, flashback so much in trailers.
Napster. You Napster.
It's just probably some ruffian or some whatever. Was he finally dressed, or was it like a really dirty dress?
I described the robes and everything like he's wearing.
It was tough. Like, he was not dressed in real finery, but also wasn't. Didn't look like he was your normal alley rat.
So it might be something to do with. Where did he go? Maybe we should follow.
I pointed to the building he ducked into across the alleyway.
He ducked into the alley that Alamir walked back to where they were loading the dock. Where they were unloading the car.
Or we were gonna go back to the other place.
He's gonna steal bread.
Let's see if we can walk out that way and just
think of the children.
Yeah, we'll do a roundabout kind of walk around the back, take a gander, and then kind of work our way back to do his little job interview he's going to look to.
Okay, so you're going to walk back into the alley and see if you can see where he went?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you trying to do it quietly or just like a casual stroll or?
If any caught of anybody comes around here, if you see anybody, even if it's that guy, be like, do you know if the food is ready yet? That's what we're going to do.
Okay, so you're casually walking back like you have purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. As you get about halfway down the alley, you don't see anyone down it, and then coming around the corner is the cart with the two people. The cart is empty, and the cart's coming at you to head out of the alley. There's barely enough room for you to move to the side and let it go by.
And
Do you do that?
Yeah, move to the side.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not getting
Okay.
ran over.
So
It's like DoorDash.
the half orc kind of scowls at you, and the dark haired guy driving just kind of nods at you and goes out, heads to the exit of the alley and heads out into the street heading north. You continue on down the alley and come to the corner, and as you approach the corner, you hear not necessarily loud voices, but voices that are talking. Two male voices talking and in a intense whispers.
Can we make out what they're saying?
So
And
you
otherwise,
can go up to the corner of the building if you want and try to listen if you'd like.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. Who's going to attempt to do that? Or are all three of you attempting to do that?
Well, the first question is who can understand? Can we hear whatever little words that are coming out to hear what language it is? Because it wouldn't be helpful if I walked up and suddenly they're speaking Dwarvish and I'm going, yeah, I don't know, but okay, next.
You're too far away right now because you're just approaching the corner. You're hearing.
Why can't all three of us walk up and tie our shoes?
You can all walk up, but are you just going to walk around the corner?
We can walk up to the corner. We'll stop at the corner before we go through the corner, and we'll listen for a second. And if we do get caught, we will stumble out, and we'll not stumble, but we'll go around the corner, and we'll just be like, "Oh, do you know where the food is?"
Yeah, exactly. We're back to the food.
Yeah, we're gonna go right to the food, man. We're gonna make this. We're gonna use the surrounding environment around us to as our advantage.
Okay. Go ahead and make everyone roll stealth. We'll do a group stealth check.
Oh, yeah, this sucks. Thank you, Jenkins.
I want to notice I had the lowest stealth in the group,
though. But it was your plan, and so you knew what you wanted to do.
That's right.
All right. So
37.
Okay. So
We beat them by 1 or no 2.
No.
Yeah, you beat
25,
them
36.
by a few. So fortunately Jenkins pulled it off, and he's like, you guys start stumbling forward, and he helps you slow down and just like approach very carefully up to the corner, and they're speaking common, and you hear this conversation between this cloaked furtive character and this other male who, Alamir, you assume it's the the brother who was doing the unloading and directing it. And
Gotcha.
you hear, I tell you this is not good. There is the body's been found. And you hear the voice that you recognize, the Alamir you recognize as Brother Sunar. Well, they don't know where it came from, do they? No. But this is dangerous. There is a connection. Yes, but there are many connections in the city. They cannot tie the body to us. I will share the information. You go and make sure that our connection is one of many and does not stand out to any particular people looking into this. Understand? Yes, of course. As always, I shall watch and take action as needed from the shadows. Very well. Then, off with you. And that seems to be the end of the conversation. You hear a slight scuffling and footsteps heading toward you quickly.
Let them run into me, or let them run into us. And as they're coming around the corners, we kind of walked around the corner. And as
Where's
they
the
do,
food?
be like, you got the food?
This man
And
rounds the corner and immediately stops.
Before he gets around the corner, I'm going to change my look.
Okay. What are you changing to?
I'm disguising my look. I'm going to use a disguise self, and I'm going to make myself look like any commoner that I saw on the other side of the city on one of my travels.
It happens to be his father.
It happens to be his distant cousin. Elroy, what are you doing here?
It's just off the top of his head. It's Mojari.
It's Majari, yes. Hello, my friends.
Or ends up being the guy who is dead.
The dead guy. Or Jaffe.
I'm going to pull my cloak over my head and act like I'm following them as a servant.
Actually, you know who I'm going to go for? Someone from school. Another student from school. So that's
okay. So not necessarily from the city.
Right.
All right.
And to top things off, while we bump into him, I'm going to through the whole bumping in and food thing, I am going to attempt to pick his pocket.
What the heck? We're going all out. We're deceiving, we're thieving, and apparently Steve is queeving. I don't know.
So he does in fact come right around the corner and runs into you, James. So you have the opportunity. Go ahead, roll your sleight of hand.
I just one thing, Tom.
Yes.
I just hope I don't pick a turtle. That's all I got to say. I want to make sure that doesn't go across my mind.
You only knew one turtle, and you probably would not have picked.
Okay, good.
Her.
Because he was made into Tortellini.
She wasn't actually one of your classmates anyway.
Right, I know. I know, just at the universe. But still, hopefully it didn't go turtle at the last moment and then suddenly.
All right. So there's an assortment of weapons, daggers. There's a pouch. There is other things on him.
If I had a choice, it's going to be scroll or pouch or the like coin purse kind of related. It's going to be one of those two things. I'm not going to go for a weapon because
Daisy, leave the baby alone.
Right. Roll. So let's see what opportunity presented itself based on how you bumped into each other.
Position. Let's see
roll
where the
2d10,
position.
please.
Roll high. Roll high. Roll high.
16.
That's good.
Yeah. There
He took his
is
testicles.
there's no scroll case or anything like that, but in the inside pocket of the cloak, there's an inside pocket, and you catch as he bumps into you, and you had you were prepared to do this, so you had kind of your hands up like you were gesturing, talking, and then you run into him and your hands are right there at his chest, and as the jacket kind of flips forward, you just grab what's in there very quickly and tuck it away, and he says, "Why? What are you doing?
What are you
Who
doing?
are you?"
We're just here trying to find the food. The food's not out there yet, and we're hungry.
Growl, growl, growl.
And brother, he backs up and he looks to the right, and he says, "Brother Suna, there are spies saying they say that they wanted food." Brother Sunar is like, "Oh, please, sir, please. No. That I'm sure that they are just misdirected." And he comes around the corner and he looks at the three of you. "Yes, no, they are.
Never seen him in my life.
Are you hungry? Are you here for food? You do not look like
I mean,
you need our services here." Or actually, no, I'm sorry, you did change that, James.
Yeah, I'd said presentation, cold dirtied up a
Are you
little bit.
hungry? Would you like? It's about another hour. If you'd like to sit or come back, there will be food.
Just eat
Thank
some
you,
bread.
sir. Oh, thank you, sir. That's the kindest thing I've heard to be coming to the city for the first time ever in my life. Sold that one.
I would like all three of you to roll deception.
How about performance?
Deception.
Yeah. All right, let's suck it. Come on, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
Watch the 20 go down to an 8, and I'm like, no.
Yes. You guys are, fortunately, I am rolling like crap for these guys.
The cloak
Even
over
my
my head
deception
helps.
beat him.
So, right. No, you look. Come. He goes. He looks. Come now, Nasid. These are not. And you see immediately. You notice. Nasid reacts. Gives him an intense stare. Angry. And not necessarily nervous, but definitely angry and abrupt stare when the name Nasid is spoken.
Yeah. As he said
It
his name.
It is okay. Go about your duties, and yes, there is nothing to be concerned or alarmed of here. These are just patrons who are just. Sometimes it does happen that they come to the back thinking that there is they can get food out of when it's in between meal times. Not a problem. And
our first time.
The one called Nasid like looks at him intently and he harumphs. He looks at the three of you very quickly, each of you, and then turns away, puts his cowl up, and quickly walks out, walks towards the street, down the alley.
He's not a friendly guy.
No, he's not. I don't like him.
I'm keeping my head down, saying nothing.
Yep, absolutely. And brother Sunar is like, sorry, one of our delivery. One of the delivery coordinators for our food merchants is a little very busy, very stressed out as of late. Please go have a seat in front, and we will. The sister and I will be there soon to begin setting up and handing out food. You are welcome.
Okay. How
All
soon?
right. So what do you three do?
As we
Bail?
walk back,
Yeah,
as you walk back, how soon is that going to be? Do we know out of character?
it's an hour. It's going to be about
It's
an
an
hour
hour?
before lunchtime.
Okay. Do you want to go get your job interview done? I feel like I should be here when they bring the food out after I overplayed the food part, just in case somehow or another that guy returns and sees us not eating and being going like, what the heck? So
Exactly, and then you just
Yeah.
say your friend bailed because he was so scared of that guy and blah blah blah.
yeah.
And I put in my mind, never use that person again as a.
Well, fortunately,
There's lots
You-
of students.
fortunately, you have a lot of
Faces to remember.
you have a lot of students from Candlekeep that you can use.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go visit the mother Shisami. Open sesame.
So you all begin to walk away from the food distribution.
No, I thought Al said he
Um,
stayed there.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not.
I
Oh,
thought
so only
Jinx was gonna
Alamir is
stay
leaving?
there.
Jenkins actually needs to stick around because I have to sell my lie completely now because
Yeah, he has
if
to
that guy
eat there.
returns, yeah, I have to make sure I sell it because if I don't,
Luna, what do you do?
I'm going to go with Alamir.
Okay. I mean,
Yep.
I hope to be back with like an apron and a chef's hat or something on.
Very good. And you turn back as you walk away, Alamir.
As soon as I get a couple of blocks good way, there's a waving tent or something. I'll walk through it with one and turn around immediately 180 and come back out as.
Well, as soon as you head north and around the corner
Uh-huh.
to head back up to the
I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna go up the long way.
Got it. So you're going to go all the way around.
And,
Okay.
and if necessary, take a couple short roads. If he's that determined, he can.
All right. So you're taking the a long scenic route around.
And if that takes an hour, that takes an hour. You tell me.
When I'm sure nobody's around, I'm going to reverse my cloak.
And what's on the other side?
One's one
difference?
color, one's the other color.
A sign that says "It's not me."
Are they
One's
is it
blue,
brown? Is it
one
brown
side's blue.
and green? Like what are
Hot
the two
pink.
colors?
I like
Hot
hot pink.
What are the two colors, Luna?
Blue and green.
Blue and green. There we go.
So you can be thrown overboard on the blue side and.
Did you start with green?
I went with blue because I normally wear green when I'm
Got it.
as a druid.
So now you're showing green.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So so Alamir and Luna are walking scenic route around to the main headquarters. Jinx, are you doing anything special while you wait?
I just continue talking to those guys and asking them questions about his sweetheart that he keeps thinking about the sister and everything else, and then every 5 minutes or so, I kind of like over loudly say like, "Oh, where's the food?"
I'm gonna die.
Nice. Very good. Are you so you have this piece of paper, are you just ignoring it for now?
I kind of really want to look at it, but tell you what. I will
Sleight of
underneath the
hand it.
I'll try to like underneath the table it and try to at least glance at it and see if there's any information and it's really quick relevant before I you know while they're talking or while they're looking off, or I'll be like, hey, is that her? Like I'll point to a direction. They both look and I'll take a quick peek to kind of look at it.
Okay.
You watch, you'll see
Um,
ingredients list, one of them being 3 parts poison.
all right.
There's a white
You
powder
you
on it. It's anthrax.
it's a relatively short note.
The
And
3 kids will die.
it is so how are you going to read the whole thing, or are you just glancing to get a gist of it?
A quick gist of it right this second. If it's important enough information, I may get up and excuse myself to um, use a tree or whatever, and go and read the rest.
Okay. You take a quick glance at it, and it is a um, it is a note of it's an that it starts out words of appreciation for the great services that you have done, blah blah blah.
Oh, thank you.
And what catches your attention is you scan down and just pick up like a few keywords here or there is the signature at the bottom. The signature is
H.
Ladria Eginga. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, I do recognize the name. I'm just trying to remember. Oh, yeah, that's the Egyptian-looking girl.
Yes. That is
She was
the
gone.
leader that of the cult that left town and got away.
I pocketed in my in like stuck away, and I'm like, well, this to me this is proof. It's not going to necessarily be proof to her, but I look at that going, and I try to hide my excitement as the older gentlemen are looking back.
So you don't go and read it in more detail. That's
Um,
enough.
That's enough. I'll be honest. That name alone is a big identifier. Has some impact. Lost a well, I didn't lose a brother. My brother went missing around that time, and so forth. So, but I still got to sell my life because if I don't, then it'll be bad news.
Okay. So you sit back down, Alamir and Luna. You make your way, and up ahead you see the main offices, and the chair is still out in front of the building, but there's nobody there. The doors are still open.
And Alamir's going to walk in.
Yep. So
I don't know what Luna's doing.
I'll follow in for the hell of it.
okay, the two of you walk into the entrance, and you see there's a door to either side, and the door on the right has a large window in it. It's painted on the window is in common. It says counseling services.
Uh-huh.
And the door on the left says healing services, and on the far back is a door. It says main offices, employees only.
Well, then that's where we'll go.
Straight back to the employees only.
Yeah, and the first person I walk into, or I'm saying, unless even if it's Mother Shisami. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm looking for Madame Ermashani. Oh my
Mother
god, what's her?
Shazman.
Yeah, that person.
Yep. So you reach. So you get to the door,
Hmm.
and it opens,
Hmm.
and there are. It's about a 15 feet wide, 20 feet long room with a door on the back and one door on the back right corner. And there are two desks, um, one on the right side, one on the left. There's a little refreshment area in the back left, to the
Cookies.
left of the rear door. And at the door on the left, or at the desk on the left, um, actually, roll 2d10, please, Elamir.
I'm not scared of your 2d10.
You're not. Ah, look at that. Um, there is nobody in here right now. It's empty. You see, there's a lot of papers. There's a book, a ledger, sitting on the desk on the left. On the right are stacks of blank paper. So there's a stack of blank paper. There's various quills and inks and colored paints and brushes. Um,
Alamir is not a rogue type. He's not going to start digging through things. So if there's nobody here, then he'll walk out to the front and he'll go to the left or the right. He'll go to the healing side or he'll go to the counseling side with the intent to ask for Shazam.
well, from what you know of her, and from what was seen earlier, you would know that the healing side is where you're most likely to find
Then I'll go there.
Mother
That's fine.
Shazmi.
That's fine.
Yep. So, are you knocking or just opening and walking in?
Well, I'm gonna open the door and walk in.
Okay. You open the door and you walk in, and um, you see Mother Shazmi, and she is standing. So there is a kind of a desk. There's a little generic shrine in the back,
Mhm.
not to any, like an all god shrine, not
All
to
right.
any particular deity. And there's like a couple of chairs where healing could be done, um, and minister to people. There's also a little cot set up, and she's standing in the middle of the room, um, facing you, looking or facing your direction, facing the direction of the door, talking to this other individual. And as you walk in, she's grabbing his arm, like you saw her do earlier
All right.
to that other man. Elamir and Luna, as you are walking in, actually, Elamir, you're the first one who walked in, so only you. Roll a just roll a perception check, please.
Elamir.
Yes, just Elamir. Wow. Okay.
What don't I see?
So
Um,
let me save
oh,
that.
your dad's missing.
Damn. Again? It's like every other week.
So
Oh, this is 8 years.
I know.
um you see, so this is the person that mother, his hood is down, he has this like dark hair, um all like it looks a little like oily,
The hair or
and
the hood?
Yes, underneath the hood.
Okay,
So his hood is down,
gotcha.
but he's dressed in all like black and dark brown, very dark browns. Um, and he and and when you first opened the door, they were facing each other about a full stride apart, and she very quickly looked in the door in your direction as you opened the door,
Hmm.
stepped forward and grabbed his arm. So this gesture is something she did in reaction to the door opening.
Okay.
And um, the this male human um, puts his head down and he's like, "Please, mother, would you make the pain stop?" And she goes, "Of course, of course." And this white glow goes over his arm. Um, Alomir, um, roll an Arcana check, please.
Oh, we're screwed.
Wait. Okay, that's you. It looks like the same kind of light that you saw her do earlier when she was healing,
Right.
and it's not an illusion. You would know if it was illusion magic,
Right.
but something about it seems wrong. Like it's not meant to do anything. It's not meant to really heal, and you don't see it like the arm is mostly blocked from your view.
Right.
You see kind of the glow of the light, and there is enough like he's turned towards you enough for you to see the hand and the part of the wrist. um there's just
But
something.
it's off.
Yes, but it's off. Luna, walking in after Alomir, you see the situation. You did not see
The
that
flashy,
was a
flashy.
reaction, so you didn't see that piece, but you know, you are fairly certain that the pain, the plead for help that this man just uttered, um, is uh, is a deceit. Is that it's not heartfelt. And the light fades, and he sighs. Yes, that is much better. Thank, thank you, mother. Thank you. Yes, my son. Of course, you are you are always welcome here. Our services are always here to help those in need. Please be more careful in the future. Yes, mother. Thank you. I I shall. And he turns and doesn't put his hood up, but he turns quickly and kind of looks like he's turns his head um, mostly away from Alamir and Luna, like he's looking at some of the things on the wall and in the place, and then uh, steps around and brushes by you and heads out into the hallway.
Okay.
Kind of like he's trying to hide his identity, or
Yes, like he didn't want you to see his face. And now and for you is Mother Shazmi. Ah, gentlemen, how may I help you?
And I explained that I was just visiting with Brother Sunar at the eatery, the food giver placer thingy, Meals on Wheels, and my heart felt desire to give back to the city that I was born and raised in. I would love to, and along with the scene during the festival, the tent or the pop up tent of the angels explaining what they're doing in the city. I feel like I want to give time at the food for thought.
Oh, that is
And I was told I need to come talk to you before Brother Sunar would actually allow me to do community service.
of course, of course. That is wonderful, wonderful. There is so much we're trying to do. Um, and we have some individuals who help out here or there where needed, and we are looking to expand soon, definitely. And additional hands to help would be so very needed
Appreciate it.
and appreciated.
Good word.
And she looks at Luna, and you as well. Are you also would like to help?
I've got my hood over my head, and I just follow my master.
Um. Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, master.
Well, I have. So, if I so she just looks at Alamir. So this is something we'll have to coordinate, and it may take some time. Would you please leave your name and how I may contact you in the near future to do so?
And Alamir will leave the name of the person that he was illusioned by.
Um,
Is that possible?
so that was not a specific name. There was not a name. It was magic that came from from the first plane of hell, and there was no name attached to it.
No. So the illusion of the student from school.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you
Okay.
said that he was, I thought you said he was illusioned by
No, no, no,
in
no,
that
no, no,
special
no.
event. Okay, got it.
So Jasper
And so
von Winken.
we early give away part of your backstory. Very good.
That's right.
I just forgot, what was he again?
Nothing at all. So,
Not the droid you're looking for.
yes. So whatever name it is,
Exactly.
actually,
Again,
I will give you a name. The name is Drizzlar.
let me get in my notes here. So my illusion number 1. Notes.
Yes. And here, this is, I will spell it for you here.
Okay. Grizlar.
Drislar. Drizzlar.
Student. USION number 1. That was to there you go. Student illusion number 1.
Yep, that's
Drizzlar.
fine. Student illusion number 1.
I feel sorry for that.
I have a feeling I'm going to have a whole lot of
in the
students
night.
of these. Yep. All right. Okay. And then I'll be right back.
Yep. So, and then are you heading back to Jinx then? Oh, Elamir has to go. So Luna, make the decision. Are after this is done and you walk out?
We would duck out, and then we'd discuss heading back Chink's way. But do we really want to go in and eat is the question.
So you would
But
get
we'd go
there.
back
You would get there during the
mealtime.
middle of the meal. Jinx, you are sitting down, and from brother Sunar comes out along with this woman.
I do switch back to my blue side before I go in
Okay.
with Alamar.
So Sister Rena and Brother Sunar come out, and the two guys that you've been talking to, the tables by the time it starts are packed, and there's people just like sitting in chairs, sitting on the ground. There's easily 25% more people than there is seating capacity. You're muted.
Yep, sorry. So while she comes out and everything else, the guy who like really likes her,
Yes.
I like, I think you can do it. I think she would definitely find you super whatever, you know. And I actually quietly, unbeknownst to him, I give him inspiration to the
So
NPC.
very good. So he's been coming here a while. So he will use your inspiration immediately as he tries to charm Sister Rinna. Oh, lass, yes. Here again, the food. I would come here even just to see your pretty face. No need for food at all, but you also a marvelous cook. And
Beauty feeds the soul.
even with, so you're going to give him inspiration. It's a D6.
Yes, the D6.
Okay.
Oh,
And
I
then,
thought it was a soul roll.
like I said, he's been coming here a while, and so he rolls with disadvantage.
Right.
Not bad though. So a total
Yeah.
of 15.
Yeah.
And she's like, Gores, come now. I know you need the food. Put it in your belly and fatten up a little, okay? And then she's moving around, and she puts that there's a good amount of food that comes out, breads, a little bit of meat, fruit, cheeses. Like it's like it's actually like one of the better meals at the Stone Saddle. So, but the Stone Saddle isn't actually is on the not quite the worst in town, but it's like definitely not even middle of the road. So, but still, it's a good meal, especially for free meals to anyone who comes. The people who are sitting on the ground, they are special trays are brought out, and they can sit there with trays. And some of the people eat very, very quickly and leave, and then other people are allowed to sit down and take their turn. And it's a good meal. And while the meal is going, do you do anything special? Or you want to say anything?
I would, as she walks by and she hands out the food and she goes around the tables and hands out the stuff, I would, um, just thank her very much, and I would she would see me take the bread, like the simple stuff that's not really perishable, and she'd see me take the bread and just kind of nibble on it, you know, like all like am I okay to eat this kind of like look, and
Oh, of course, dear. You're welcome. You're new here. Welcome. Please eat your fill.
thank you. They said you were. I kind of giggle a little bit when I say this, but they said you were the pretty one, and it looks like they were right. And I, go back to eating.
She laughs and is, thank you. Maybe compared to Brother Sunar, but yes, this is I'm just the chef and coordinator. So please enjoy. All right.
When she leaves, I try to excuse myself as quickly as possible with my piece of bread, and I kind of go off like I'm in. I eat it kind of as I go out. I just stick around long enough to get something to do my stuff.
Very good. So as you walk away, you see coming out of the alleyway, from down the street, you see Alamir and Luna.
I hurry over to them. I think we got some proof. And they're speechless, so I assume they're okay
Frozen.
with that.
No, I explained to Jinx that what I witnessed, it seems to probably be fraudulent. The healing isn't real. What she's doing is all fake. There's something wrong there. I wonder if it's like a snake oil type selling thing, just to cover that they're actually doing things when they're not really doing things.
That would explain why they can keep doing it, because don't clerics and those healer types, don't they have a limited well of resources to pull from their gods?
It can be very expensive in many different ways.
Oh, it's one of those places.
No, I mean, depending if you're making potions, the cost to make potions like I do, or if you're drawing favors from the gods, you owe them favors.
Do as we will walk down or whatever. Do
Mhm.
you want to go check out that one last place really quickly? I got some information, and I kind of we kind of get into like a little huddle, like we're talking, and I kind of share it, especially with Alamir, because I know he can read, and let him take a look at it, and I point out the last little bit, which is obviously the
name.
signature of the evil lady.
So you're huddled around off to the side of the street. A few people walking by.
I am glancing around to see who's walking by.
And I break the bread, and I'm sharing breaking the bread pieces up, like we're sharing the bit of food that we have.
And as Jinx shows you this piece of paper and points down to the very bottom of it, and you both look, and you see the name, the signature, the name of Ladria Eginga. And
You guys remember that from 10 years ago?
Yes. And that's where we're going to end tonight. So, all right. That was some crazy rolls.
Lesson we learned today, though, is pickpocketing is a valuable asset.
Yeah, rolling crazy well, valuable asset. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you all watching, and we will see you all next week and find out what the group does with this information, what they find out. Thanks, everyone. Good night.